All right, here with the great Al Bernstein. Al, you're the best at breaking down fights. AJ versus Ruiz rematch. I just want to throw this at you because everyone's saying AJ has to make adjustments. Do you think he really has the ability to against Ruiz?
Well, he ended up losing the first fight because he had hurt Ruiz, knocked him down, and then he went very aggressively and got countered and got hurt. So the mission here in this fight is probably to use his height reach, use his jab more, and still land a power punch when it's there, but not push the envelope. And so that would represent a slight change in the style that we saw. Is he capable of doing that? He's probably capable of it. The question is, will Andy Ruiz cooperate with him and allow that to happen? And did Andy Ruiz overperform and Joshua underperform? We know Andy Ruiz is a good fighter, so it wasn't some absurd, crazy fluke, but there's no question Joshua probably underperformed a little bit. The question is, how much can he get better?
Is it fair to say, though, Al, that Joshua was beaten in his own wheelhouse, at his own game? Because I know he's 6'6", but I don't know if he's ever been an outside fighter, right? I mean, he's usually a guy that works for him, exploding up close.
He's a mid-range fighter.
Right.
He's a fighter that is in the pocket, uses all. I mean, he is a, he uses his jab, he uses those kinds of weapons and the straight right hand and whatever, but needs often to be close enough to throw that left hook, the kind that he knocked down Ruiz with, and the uppercut is a great punch. So, yeah, can he fight at enough range where he's not going to get hit with something? And people have pointed out that Anthony Joshua has been stunned or hurt or down in a number of fights.
Right.
So there's a question whether he can sustain through it. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. And I don't think anybody watching it would be surprised if it went either way.
And then lastly, Al, we never know how these things shake out. You could be calling a pay-per-view fight on Fight Night with that one, but let's just assume you got no obligations to the fight. Who do you pick? Who do you lean towards as we're months out from what's going to be the rematch?
It's pretty early to make a prediction.
I know.
Because I would probably abstain on the prediction, but I would say unless the onus is on Anthony Joshua to perform better, because it's possible Andy Ruiz will be a bit better. It's possible he will fight even a better fight. So I don't know. It's hard to make a prediction this early because we haven't seen how they prepared and everything.
Do you think Joshua, there's any kind of mental hunger? Joshua has to fight again. Did he not look the same kind of guy against Ruiz that he was that got up off the canvas for his Klitschko?
Well, it ended up that he wasn't because he didn't, he couldn't sustain through.
Right.
And wasn't, and even the way the fight ended with his hands on the ropes and not going back out. I'm not criticizing him for it. I'm just saying that was a posture that, kind of indicated that he had had enough,
And it's just a little odd that he didn't want to run it right back in the garden. Just because we just saw Shane Mosley, who went right back to the scene of the crime with Vernon Forrest and Winky Wright.
Yeah, well, and that's another big story about this fight, the location, which is fascinating on a million different levels, both in terms of the boxing and the bigger picture.
Politics and all that.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Al. It's a big night for Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame.
It should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to having a great evening tonight with a lot of great champions.
Any chance you think this winds up just right there with Canastota as really the official Hall of Fame in the sport?
Other than Canastota, this event ends up being the biggest gathering of great boxing greats. I think right now it's that. So it's already reached that level.
And you're already the alumni here, I believe.
I am an alumni, yes. I am a former inductee, and now this is my third time hosting. So I think I should get a watch or something. Shouldn't I get a watch by now? Or maybe not a watch, but perhaps a... I have offers already of getting a watch. Or maybe a pin.
or everyone should be mandated to read your excellent book from 2013, 2012.
Yeah, see, now I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. You're thinking, I'm not thinking.
So
All right.
thanks so much, Al. Enjoy your fellow Hall of Fame peers tonight.
All right, take care.
Thank you.